What's up, everybody? Come on in, drop your city and state. Hopefully, I won't cough through the whole thing. Coughing has been back up. Don't you look back. All right. So I was on Blacker Pockets. Well, I was on Instagram, let's be honest. And Blacker Pockets posted top 10 states for booming real estate. And of course, Blacker Pockets is aimed toward African American people. And so many people in the comments immediately, you know how they do. Oh, number one, of course, was Austin, Texas. Number two, I'll try to post it up on the community post. But of course, you had Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. You had Charlotte, North Carolina. You had Houston in there. Well, Houston wasn't on there, but everybody was like, why isn't Houston on there? You had Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth. You had a couple different good ones on there. Now, immediately people go, oh, it's so expensive now. It's real expensive. Now, I've lived in Raleigh. I've lived in Charlotte. Very briefly. But I keep and I live in Austin, Texas, and I've been active in real estate. Now, many of you see me as a YouTuber, online business person. Oh, Erica, but I'm actively a real estate person. I got my real estate license in this city. I actively daily research for about 2-3 hours a day and then take action accordingly. Now, here's where me and the hoteps, me and the research, the keyboard warriors differ. I actually take action. I'm not researching this to argue with you on the internet. I actually go out here and put in offers on houses. I put in offers on contracts. I buy properties in other places. Hey, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I got a new cell phone, so the lens might be better now. I think that's part of what it is. I think the lens is better. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is many people are out here on the internet researching to argue. They're researching just enough to argue with you that, black people always been depressed and all this other stuff. And I was saying in my live on Instagram, which is a good one, I should make sure I should save that somewhere, is that I live in Austin and I try not even to interact honestly with black people who live in Austin full time, been their whole life. Now, many people are like, what? And it's because 9 times out of 10 they have this pull us at mentality, like, oh, they moved us from downtown. It's so hard here in Austin. Living here is the struggle. And we just are struggling out here. And you're like, what? Again, like when I talked about the painting thing and filling out contracts for the city. No black people want to do that. No, I ain't going to do that. I ain't trying to be seen on a radar. I ain't trying to get in the business of the city. And just all these crazy, like, outlandish things they were saying. That just didn't make sense, honestly. And I just try to avoid people from there because their thinking is just twisted. It's twisted. And that's why when you see people move to a new city or a new state, they come and they just dominate and buy up properties and destroy and like, rah, because they're coming with fresh eyes, but they're also taking off that old BS mindset. And in the comments on Blacker Pockets and on Instagram, I'll try to do screenshots. People up there talking about, oh, it's so expensive. It is so expensive up in that Austin. And I'm like, I've been here. What are you talking about? I've been here for 6 years. It's cheap over there. Oh, it's like $280,000. I said, yeah, but 5 years ago it was $125,000. Why didn't you buy then? Oh, it was dangerous then. I mean, there's an excuse for everything in the book. Now, there is times in America where I will agree. We have had injustice in redlining, injustice in loans. But when you ask people what they've been doing the past 10, 15 years, it really tells on themselves. See, they mind won't right. They won't even thinking about doing the right thing. And now they old and they want to do the right thing. Now, if you ask them, well, why did you buy a house over there 10 years ago? It was cheap. It was like $80,000 over off that road all them years. Oh, I had to put little Jerome in a good school. And, there weren't no good schools over there. The good schools were over here. Okay, well, now little Jerome 15, why don't you go back over here and buy a house? Oh, it's too late now. It's really expensive now. Them prices is too high. And you're sitting here like, y'all just keep making up excuses every week. Y'all just keep coming up with a new excuse every week for why you haven't bought something, why you can't buy it. Next 2 minutes, everybody's like, well, I might retire and move back over here. But while you're here, you've been here 10, 15 years and ain't bought nothing. You know, why can't we get over that? Because anytime you do move, you can just sell. And the reason gentrification is people are so upset about gentrification is because they don't own anything. And anytime someone starts talking to you about the responsibility of owning things, you need to get away from that person. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Because what they've already told you is, I don't want to be responsible, Erica. That's not in my DNA. Being irresponsible is in my DNA. I don't want to be responsible. I have to be responsible for something other than myself? Oh, I don't want to do that, Erica. No. Find me something where I don't have to be responsible. And that, to me, is disgusting. Let's just be honest. It's disgusting. Because I don't like being in a room with people who are stagnant like water, right? If I talk to you 2-3 years and you still got the same problems, you ain't solved that problem. And I remember when people were asking me, like, and again, this has been a 5-year journey for me. I've been climbing, trying to get my financial life to the best ability. And every time they would see me, they'd be like, man, are you still working on that? I'm like, I sure am. I'm a millionaire now, so what's up, right? Like, I'd be ready to, because I'm like, I'm pushing and growing and you're not. So you come back around and you see people later and they realize, damn, Erica really did make her $1 million. And now their mouth looked tight because when you were saying something that's possible, they couldn't open their mind to see that it was possible, right? And people have a right to sit in their low level gear. Again, that book is on point. When it talked about in America, you can get by on a low level gear. You don't have to start a business. You don't have to do more. But what people love to do in America is compare and complain. Well, you know, them white people over there, they got this and that. And it's like, stop. Either you're gonna agree that what you're doing is not working and take action to do something different, or you're going to let it go. What does let it go mean? You're going to stop talking about it. If you're content at the level of work you're doing in life right now, be content at what the level of it is purchasing you. But see, people don't want to do that. You can't do both. You got to pick one or the other. And when I was on Blacker Pockets and people were like, oh, it's so expensive in Raleigh. I was like, $150,000 can get you a whole house? $50,000 can get you a whole condo? Well, ain't nobody want to live over there, Erica. Okay, well, live over there for 6 months and then move somewhere else. Rent that bad boy out. It's always an excuse. If you don't have $300,000 money for a house, do you have $50,000 money for a condo, house? If you do, that's your level. And until you get on the next level, that's your level. And it is a I'm poor but I'm choosy mentality, and I cannot understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm at a stoplight. Let me see what y'all talking about up in here. What's up? 75 people, 15 likes. Hit the like button. Hello from they need to focus on winning instead of whining. I inherited some land from my grandparents in Alabama. I'm looking to get a townhouse built on and rent it out. Do you have any leads for me to get it done? Black Caesar, you don't need no leads, baby. All you need to do is get on that computer, go right there in Alabama and look for builders. That's all you need to do. You need you need to get your funding, and 2, you need to get a builder. That's it. I don't have to give you any leads. That's easy. You can go get on the computer right now and do it. I often say many times it's not racial, it's culturally intrinsic. Sometimes it's not even racial, it's just class, right? Like, if everybody in your family is like trying to figure out a way to get disability and trick and do something, and this is white people too. I know a white girl right now who just avoids her family like the plague because everybody's trying to figure out a way after they lost their jobs in 2008 to get on disability. And they're all sitting there trying to trick the government to get disability. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with y'all. And even her younger siblings are getting on disability. And she's like, what are you getting on disability for? I'm depressed. I have depression. If you get out of mom and dad's house and go to work, you probably wouldn't be depressed. Now, again, I'm not making light of depression. Depression is a real thing. It is a serious thing. But I'm just telling you, old girl who's a nurse, when she moved away from her family, everybody couldn't understand it, why she just didn't want to be around them whatsoever. And then she explained it to us, I don't know when in November I'll be in Cleveland. Cousin Nita's up there. I don't know when. How do you join the Facebook group? You buy into the Facebook group. It's a subscription, monthly subscription, $10 subscription. So, but when she explained that to me, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I wouldn't want to surround myself with people all they're doing is figuring out how to get a free check, because eventually they'll start looking at you as an opportunity to get a check because you're the only one working. It's important about your mindset and who you be around. Now, Glenn and Cameron, some people say, oh, you know, you got to get away from your family. And people in the comments were like, well, that's easy for you to say, but this is your mom and sister. You know, it's only hard for you when you're living with them. And let me make that very clear. I'm not trying to step on no men's toes or no women's toes, but if you're living with your family because you can't afford to rent on your own, you can't look your nose down at them because you can't even afford to live by yourself. Now, is your mindset better than them? For sure. But if you're living with them, you cannot open your mouth to be smart about how they're living. Because the only reason you're affording how you're living is because you're living with them. So let me put that in there. So when people start doing these rabbit hole hoops trying to explain to you why they can't get away from their family and stuff, really 9 times out of 10 what they're telling you is they live with their parents. And so they live with them, they interact with them every day, so they ain't got no choice. That part, okay? That part. That's the part they didn't fill you in on the details. But any other time, you can just go get in your house, pick up and move, and at a certain age, you should have enough friends and community that you're going to talk to, that you're going to walk to, that you're going to do dinners with, that you're going to activities with. Some of y'all sound like y'all don't have a calendar full of activities. And so when you don't have a calendar full of activities, what happens? You're spending every single day with your family, spending every single day with your cousins, and the activities find you. So you have to be proactive in finding those activities. Now, back to what my original point about Blacker Pockets post about people complaining about these cities. If I was to say, if you're a young person, you're saying, Erica, I'm starting from scratch right now, and I need to, I really want to get in real estate, and I live in any of these 10 cities, right? I would immediately tell you first, find out who you can work with, wholesaling, or contractor, or a builder, or a developer, a plumber, electrician, any of these people in these fields that are working in new construction or rehabbing a lot of properties. That's who you should be looking for to work with. Okay? And the difference is somebody on the keyboard warriors are like, oh, I live off Lamar and it's expensive. Okay, parts of Austin have been 2 bedrooms for $800 for years. Now it's 2 bedrooms for $1,200. Oh, it's too much. What are you talking about? People are paying $3,000, $4,000 in other cities. What's too much is your income hasn't caught up because you have not gotten new skills. You should be getting new skills. And then people say, well, I researched. I said, well, I bought an actual property over there. So miss me with the I research, because I research could mean any number of bull S you're trying to feed me that I will not buy. Right? If someone tries to start feeding you bull S, you have to go, why are they saying this to me? Well, I researched. I've Googled. Going to open houses on the weekend is not research. That's not research. Going to one neighborhood is not research. Lots of studies show that the average person only does an 8-mile radius of their house. I even was talking to this guy and he did not want to drive 15 minutes up north. He was like, man, can you come down again? I'm like, look, bro, this ain't gonna work. If you can't drive 15 minutes, you're lazy. That's why people complain every day and night about commuting in the morning and afternoons. Well, my kids in schools and I have to drive 40 minutes to compute for work. And the reason they're complaining so hard about it is because the average person only drives 8 miles. They only drive 8 miles. They drive to the grocery store, the bank, everything in an 8-mile radius. And on top of that, when people sit there, when we were in Chicago, Rashana Scott's bus tour in Chicago, there were people on the bus tour who are from Chicago, but you know what? They never go on that side of town, so they needed the bus tour to show them. Asia Denton's out there in Detroit. She had an actual tour with people paying thousands of dollars now to be on a tour of Detroit because they don't never go to that side of town. So people, when they try to tell me they research something, you can miss me with that. I get in the car way too much. I drive way too much. I look at houses every day of the week. And I even have a friend here who's like, man, I'm shocked how much you're doing. Yeah, baby, I'm doing way more than you think. Because what you see is you see some trucks. You see me look at trucks. It takes 1 hour to look at a truck and go on about my life. It takes 1 hour to sit down and do all the paperwork for the trucks weekly and go on with my life. What do you think I'm doing with the rest of my week? You know what I mean? Come on, people. Right now I'm driving this road. Let me see if I can show y'all this camera. Flip it around. This street used to be considered so dangerous. I'm on a street. Oh, it's so dangerous over there. Ain't nothing but white people. I'm driving. All I see is white people. And little, you see those little Zoom thingies? This is a new, the trail road tracks over here. There's a restaurant that's a pizzeria. All this area has been gentrified. It's just gentrified. And so when people say, well, you can't even live inside the city, you know, for under $800,000. Oh, is it choppy now? Is it better now? Let me know if it's better now. You guys put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. I'm on South Lamar. Like this guy was telling me Lamar is so expensive. And I'm like, I'm on Lamar. What part of Lamar were you talking about? Were you talking about North Lamar or South Lamar? Were you talking about a neighborhood where you know they're going to be $1 million because they're right downtown? Or are you talking about North Lamar by Chinatown? Right? And he didn't want to clarify. And people don't want to clarify because they get their feelings hurt. Because they do this every day. Do this every day, bro. Like, and that's why I don't deal with people who live somewhere for a really long time, because they are starting to have an old set in their ways mindset. I mean, a lot of times we talk to black people from Austin, they act like, we're in recession. I can't even, oh Lord, it's terrible. And I'm like, what? I think I told y'all about when I worked at a Section 8 or income adjusted housing. And most people in there were on Section 8, but a lot of them were like working, or like the girl that came in there, she was on getting her master's degree with 2 kids. And so when I started talking to her, she's like, yeah, I'm real concerned about getting a job though. And we're like, why? Well, I never had a job, and I got my master's degree in HR, and it's a recession in Texas. Everybody in the office about started laughing our butts off in front of her face. We were trying so hard to stay professional, but what she was saying didn't make any sense. It's not a recession in Texas. And what she was really saying is she's been around a bunch of people in her family who like, oh, it's hard out here getting a job out here. And as soon as out of my mouth, I said, well, you can go work at Lowe's, Home Depot, you can go work at HEB. They're hiring for HR people. Her mouth turned crooked. Like she won't work in there. She was going to work at an office job. You've never had a job in your whole life, and you got 2 kids. So all you've been doing is going to school for the past 7 years and having babies. Honey, get a wake-up call right now. I'm your wake-up call. Hello, my name is Erica. I'm your wake-up call. It just cracks me up. Exactly. I have a friend right now. She moved back to Austin. She grew up here. She don't know where it is. She ain't never heard of it. It's brand new. All this I'm passing by over here is brand new, y'all. This is all brand new. This is brand new. And if you see an apartment, all they and do some upgrades inside, some granite countertops here and there, or stainless steel appliances. These apartments from 1950s. Old to my left. This other stuff to my right is all new. That's the downtown. We're going closer and closer. But I've been over here, and the guy was like, well, anything worth of value is only 800,000 or more. So when you say worth value, what does that mean? Your level of value may not be somebody else's. He can get him something for 300,000, but it's not his level of value. See, you think because you got a high income job that you deserve $1 million house. That's twisted thinking. And even now, when I talk to people about, I don't know if I'm gonna take y'all with me, but I'm gonna go up to Georgetown today and look at this piece of land. But when you talk to people, they assume because they make 150 at a job or 160K at a job that they deserve some kind of new big life. And you be like, where is this ideal supported from? Yeah, she had a crooked mouth when I talked to her. I said to her, she really did, y'all. It was crazy. But yeah, this is right here is Barton Springs and Lamar. So if the black guy on Blacker Pockets was talking about this area, well, yeah, this area is been $1 million area for a while, with huge houses with 5 bedrooms. Wow. Like, where did he think he was gonna get something? He's like, it needs to be reasonable. Well, what's reasonable? Define what's reasonable. And even somebody in the chat said Austin started at 200,000. Do you know how long places in Austin were at 150,000? They were here for 150,000 for so long. Or people complain about living on the outskirts. Well, you got outskirts money. If you don't have inserts money, why? Again, this is why I talk about investing, because a lot of people get upset. Because, well, I can only afford a $50,000 house or something to that effect, or my income can only support 150,000. That's your income. That's not what the city says. So take your money where you can afford, and then you have to figure out how to invest to get more. Instead of trying to live in an apartment with granite countertops downtown just so you can say you're downtown, own your house and start making other investments. Now, of course, bicycle people. There are different levels of wealth. If you only can afford a $150,000 house, you need to go live where $150,000 houses are. And if you say, well, Eric, I don't want to live over there because it's not my side of town, it's not my cup of tea, then what do you need to be doing? You need to figure out how to invest and make more money between you and your spouse. Because when you really get honest with it, some of these people wanting to live in $800,000 houses and they're not married, honey, for what? Where? Why? I mean, we can ask Oprah the same thing, but she got like 7 puppies in Stedman, okay? And she really rich. This is downtown. We have like 4 loop highways that were non-existent when I moved here. Exactly. I mean, Austin's just growing leaps and bounds, and people really get stuck in the same mind frame that they're gonna stay in their same neighborhood paying $500 rent or $800 rent in the same duplex, and then get mad when the landlord don't upgrade it and they pay the same exact rent. Come on, man. Come on. There's a Section 8 place I was gonna drive earlier by, but I didn't feel like it. Where the people are still living over there and they're paying like $2,000 a month. The government is, and they're paying a portion of that. But it's because they want to live downtown. Well, this Section 8 is near downtown. Is that something to ascribe to? And again, these are people who live in Austin for years, don't buy nothing, and then complain the prices go up and up. Again, the number one thing I learned when I didn't buy that house that was $135,000 in Pflugerville, 3 years later, that same house sold for $285,000. I could have been walking around with that money. You know, and even, okay, well, even brother, even if you don't buy anything, your money should be doing what? You should be having your money not just sitting in a savings account just so you can look at it, but making investments, making returns on your money, 10 to 15% interest. But if you live in any of these top 10 cities that they posted for 2020, you want to be in real estate, you need to be either getting your license, working with a developer, working with builders, working in a place where you can get the access. Because my sister was like, yeah, I really want to be a real estate agent, get those big checks. I said, honey, big checks ain't in the real estate agents. The big checks are with the developers. The big checks are with the people rehabbing and flipping houses. Do you know what I'm saying? The big checks are what people actually doing in exchange for value. The average real estate agent is making $40K a year. Investing money is key. Exactly. Listen, that's the thing, Ganja. They're in Utah, and everywhere they look around, they see people Airbnb in places. They see stoplight, so chill out. They see people Airbnb in places and investing. But when you try to go talk to old school farmers or old school black people about investing their money, oh no, I'm just gonna sit over here. That sounds too good to be true. That sounds like a scam. Okay, then you've chosen road B. Now, what does road B lead to? Road B leads to you having to move up out of here. What kind of license for real estate? Bo, it depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. But the top states that were on that list were, number 1 was Austin, Texas, /Round Rock. Number 2 was, if anybody can see it from Blacker Pockets, let me know. But number 3 was like Charlotte, North Carolina. Number 4 was like Raleigh, Durham, of course. Another one was Boston, Atlanta, Seattle, and a couple other ones. But at the end of the day, like, to get involved in those cities, you'd have to be either in construction as a man or woman. You would have to be in some type of level of investing. And I always try to explain to people, when people think, well, Erica, you know, you should just focus on one thing and get really good at it. That's you. I've always wanted to be an investor. Look at the cash flow quadrant book. E is for employee. And some of you can make $150,000 to $200,000 a year as an employee. So let's not knock employees. We're not knocking them. You can make big money, but you need to figure out where to do what. Put your money, right? Next is S for self-employed, right? People love talking about being a freelancer, which is self-employed. Minority mindset, try to tell people they didn't have to start a business, but they could be freelance, which is still starting a business, which is retarded. And then C is B for big business, means you have employees, you have systems, you have franchises. Then you have the last one, which is I, is investor. And that's what I try to be. I try to read a lot, but invest, take my money and make it move. Like, some people will be in the comments like, oh, Eric, I just bought your book. I'm really going to start doing some things. Some people have only bought the Facebook group, and they've been in the Facebook group 5 months, like, oh, that's enough for me, Erica. Okay, so you've been watching the channel for 7 freaking years, spent $50 in a Facebook group, and I asked you, what have you tried to do? And it's nothing. So at some point, it's not me, it's not the information, it's you. It's not the society's terrible. The opportunities are out there. And I mean, people get into my DMs and try to argue with me and like, I really love to invest with you, but I can't. You don't need your money. That's the problem. I don't need your money. You think I need the money? It's not about needing the money. And unfortunately, people don't realize all money ain't good money. I'm about to have to respond to a couple people and say, I don't want your money, baby. All money ain't good money. Keep that money. And I'm taking y'all by, this is Martin Luther King Drive over there, and this is Lamar. Lamar's still going. I went to some real estate classes. RV campers, land, all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. People can use, one person can have some land, and I'm gonna post a picture on the YouTube community page part, but you'll see it where we bought 2 houses side by side, and one dude's got 9 cars over there and a dump truck. And you're like, okay, you wouldn't need to sell your house if you actually had that dump truck working, or you sell these cars. But people become hoarders because they have the wrong information. They have emotional attachment to these cars, thinking they should get full price for them. I've heard it all. Oh, these cars are worth this. No, they're not. These cars are worth whatever somebody will buy them from you for. And if they're not going to buy that amount from you, then it's not worth that. How about that? How about them apples? Do you know what I'm saying? Great, I'm behind a bus. Oh, goodness. People. Oh, wait. Oh, my God, girl. These people. Do you see how she won't even looking till she had to look? She was about to get freaking tore up. You gotta look, girl. Anyway. Opportunities are everywhere. You can make some of it. Listen, even somebody who tells me, somebody messaged me, gave me an email, oh, I'm out here in the rural parts of South Carolina. You don't understand. You got a phone, don't you? You got a phone, don't you? So what can you do with your phone? You can either learn how to trade stocks from people like Terry. Take the money you do got and be trading stocks every day. Okay? You got your phone. You can literally, there's a guy, which I can bring him on. He has little Shopify sites. He runs most of it from his phone. And laptops aren't that expensive anymore. You can get a laptop for $100, $200. You can get tablets for just about nothing. And the key here is, you know, there's all kind of ideals you can do from your phone. And so the excuses like wear me out that, oh, I live in a rural place. Okay, what's that got to do with me? And if you live in a rural place and you get a big tax refund check, that's probably enough for you to buy Terry's course and put some money in your stock market account and start trading for the rest of the year. Would you invest in homes with cash flow but gain a little equity? You never buy homes for appreciation. That's some California BS. People love talking about appreciation. To me, always buy for cash flow. You should not buy something and you hoping it'll make more money in the future. You have to buy it right at the right price. It should be making you money when you buy it. That's where people get wrong. When you take your money, you buy cash flowing assets. So it means it already should have cash coming from it, right? That's what the cash flow part of that equation means. I mean, yeah, they can do virtual wholesale, but all these things they need, it's all in your mind. The limits are in your mind. You can get on your computer right now, and the guy was, I think I gave y'all this example yesterday, but the guy, Pastor Darnell, or whatever he calls himself on the internet, he was saying that he was sitting with a man, and the man spent 30 minutes responding to like 30 chicks in Instagram DMs because they was half naked in their drawers, okay? And he was doing all that, responding. He was like, man, in that same time frame, you could have messaged 30 business owners. You could have messaged 30 people who were doing something. You could have messaged anybody, right? And built a business, anything. And he's right. He's like, because if you message, 30 people a day times 30 days, like a month. I mean, by the time he ended up doing it, he was like, you've messaged almost 1 million people, right? Or 90,000 people. And there's some good math on there. I have to go look back at it again. But essentially, that's the point. People are using their time to come up with an excuse or tell me they researched something, but then they didn't apply no action. If you haven't been buying anything, if you haven't been investing in anything, you're not really applying action. You're just reading. I researched, Jericho. Okay, what did you research? They cost more than that. Who said? Did you put any offers out? No. That's not research. What did you go? I went to open houses. That's not research either. Research is a daily commitment to hours of research of something. You think these people write these dissertation papers after being in doctorate school for years? Research, no. So you have to really like listen how most people are talking about this stuff. And thank you guys. There's 133 of y'all here. Definitely hit the like button. This is a Saturday. You could be watching football. You could be cutting up. You could be doing anything you want. It's a Saturday, but you're here listening and I guess gaining some knowledge. So definitely hit the like button. But that's my thing. For those I'll see you in Denver, October 5th. I'll see you guys October 12th in Dallas. I will see you guys then. And then who else am I looking for? Atlanta. I'll be there next week in Atlanta. But yeah, it's really important. It's really important for folks to understand that, like, everybody that's investing in me right now, I'm like, hats off to you. You're the freaking best. Right? Appreciation is just extra. Appreciation is just, yeah, it's gravy. It's like you can eat chicken without gravy. Chicken still should be meat on it, though. Just even when I'm talking about, you know, just the stuff I'm researching now, like when people are like, oh yeah, I saw this thing about trucking, it's gonna struggle. And I go, what research do you research? Because some of the same stuff that just was out came back and later said, oh, well, we were off on that. The same newspaper that said the same thing about trucking, and people try to, well, I should look at this article, and I can go back and show them another article that I read like a month later saying, oh, whoops, our bad. And that's how people tell you they studied something. They read a highlight. Same thing with the guy yesterday. Have 3 jobs, $240,000 a year. People wanted to hear him say, "Oh, he gonna be dead. He gonna be tired." And they're like, "No, his first job pays him $200,000." Oh, so it's just like, you know, pay attention to who's feeding you this content. Where did you read this? Where did it have it to back it up? Has this person put in deals? Has this person invested any money in trucks? You know, I always make fun on my channel of the Uncle Jerome. It's an imaginary character, but everybody has an Uncle Jerome in their life who lives at home with his grandma or isn't that successful, but can tell you everything on business and what you should do and what you should invest in. People don't listen to people who aren't. People do not listen to people who are not investing, right? They don't listen to people who aren't making gains in their own personal life. How do you invest in trucks? You buy them and you lease them out, or you buy them and you drive them. There's lots of ways to invest. But the same reason is like, just because you guys see me invest in trucks doesn't mean I'm not spending the rest of the time investing in what? Real estate, getting knowledgeable about real estate. So, anyways, you guys, this is some more new construction we're passing on North Lamar. Again, you can still buy houses for $300,000 in this area. So I don't know who the guy was on Blacker Pocket saying they couldn't find nothing for $800,000. You can go up and down both sides of the street and find something for $300,000. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classic Line Blog. This was a short one today. Later.